was sort of
to the James Lawrence Allcott channel with my good friend, what's your name?
Lawrence McKenna.
Not
been on for a while since my untimely demise, but here we are.
Here we are, indeed.
Dead.
Yeah, he's dead. Do you know that?
Socially, yeah. Thanks for having me.
I thought I'd just chuck this up. Let's sling it up there. We're going to be doing the Super Bowl a bit later on, me and Laws. 4.5 hours. I didn't even really think about it before I said
saying
yes.
That. I love the idea at the start of the stream. You literally go, wow, Super Bowl. 4.5 hours we're going to be here.
Yeah, and people think it's a young man's world. No, Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, all in the Super Bowl.
It's a legend's world is what it is.
Indeed.
That's what it is, yeah. Welcome to the stream. We really appreciate you coming. Thanks for coming. Do you remember when we started
Let
streaming?
the mask slip for a second.
Yeah, you're right.
Be
Be horrible for a minute. Do you
so-
remember when we started streaming together during COVID for a little while?
Mate, it was like,
I think that was the first.
would you like a career, James?
Yeah.
Here you go. And Lars sorted me out,
And
didn't
it's
he?
gratitude like that. Brian never shows that kind of gratitude.
And there's 4 hours of that you can enjoy in the Super Bowl.
And a half.
Streak and a half.
So, yeah.
A bit later on.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be very loose, and we're going to see comments in here, and we're going to talk about the games that happened today. We did the kickoff, which was good.
I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed having you on. I thought you're quite the influence on the show because you bring it back towards reason. There's not so much.
Is that
listen,
boring,
it's in my
though?
heart, so it matters. Sort of thing, you know. Yeah.
That feels boring, though, surely.
It's boring to our audience, but to your audience, I bet it was fascinating.
They seem to enjoy it. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. Get your questions in here because, of course, Spurs have lost 2-0 to Wolves.
Not a massive
Get him
surprise.
out. Get
Right.
Conte out, is what I'm saying.
It's kind of mad how...
That's my reason to be.
It's your reason to be, yeah. Klopp out because didn't win by enough.
Yes.
And the other result was, and Howe out because, well, he's not winning by enough as well.
Agreed. Yeah, not enough goals this weekend.
Don't like the style.
Not
What's that
acceptable.
long comment?
So yeah, get your questions in. We'll answer a few of these because I think we'll just have a bit of fun when it comes to these games. Newcastle for top 4.
Newcastle for top 4 next season.
Like a stretch.
I mean, if they have a great summer, I feel like Eddie Howe... It's interesting because does Eddie Howe strike you as the type of Brendan Rodgers type character or the aspiring whoever type character? Because Rodgers is always seen as the nearly man, and Howe, you can see Klopp as the nearly man throughout his football career, but then into management. No, throughout his career with Mainz, it wasn't great.
Prior to
yeah. And then being a manager, it's obviously the opposite of that. It's sort of, success. There are little blips, but there's always this, we'll keep going.
My thing with Newcastle is like that, and so Eddie Howe as well, is like the outgrowing. Like,
as in they outgrow him?
So I nearly asked the question to Brian, we didn't get there. With Alan Saint-Maximin, like, will Newcastle outgrow Alan Saint-Maximin?
You kind of hope that
Eddie Howe's the same thing?
So I feel like Alan Saint-Maximin is slightly above Eddie Howe in a sense because I think his talent level is very high. What I worry is that with the coaching, whether he will outgrow the coaching. So to me, and I mean this in sort of the most wholesome way, Alan Saint-Maximin is a Mane at best. Mane being one of the best players in the Premier League, right. But Mane at best in terms of what you can hone that skill to be because of his position. And then at worst, he's Alan Saint-Maximin.
But
But you get what I mean. So, and I don't mean Mane in the sense of he has to play like him. What I mean is Liverpool had him at Southampton. They knew that's a player we identified as someone we need to sign. How high is that ceiling? It turns out the ceiling was very high.
Right.
That won them a title.
Answer the question.
What's the question?
The question is will Newcastle outgrow Alan Saint-Maximin?
Try and think of a better left-wing player that can play in that place.
Not politically.
No, yeah. Maybe.
No. That's what I mean. I don't think... See, Brian was kind of alluding to that fact. I disagree. I think he's wonderful.
If I'm honest as well, I think there are times where, because of him and him, Salah, the likes of Mane, the likes of any winger in the Premier League, very much get judged on output. Whereas actually, I think when you get a better fullback with someone like Alan Saint-Maximin, that's partly where he struggles right now. You're going to get so much more out of him.
Yeah.
Because you get someone who can overlap. And also Joe Linton's obviously on that side of midfield right now. So you get Alan Saint-Maximin feels quite isolated. Because if he goes back to Joe Linton, you're already looking forward. It's not a Henderson type. It's not a Gundogan type. It's not any of that kind of player where you sort of go, okay, players static or sort of is moving for a second. And as a fan, you sort of go, Joe Linton, he's a forward player, we'll move it forward again. And then you've got whoever it is that's overlapping him. With Liverpool, we're very lucky. With Cancelo, City are very lucky. And I'm talking about that level of player because I think, well,
that's the end
goal,
goal,
what they're
isn't
going
it?
for.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So surely that's where you think, right, that's the kind of fullback we're going to get. That's the level of fullback we're going to get. How can we get that?
Yeah, I think that's
Maybe
what I
I'm
mean.
wrong.
There's a long road ahead. Question for everyone in the comments in the chat is: are Newcastle safe now? I would suggest that a victory like that and the gap that's there, and the momentum they have, and now probably the quality they have, very close.
Guimaraes isn't even in the
not
squad.
starting. Yeah, he's coming on for 5 minutes.
He's not in the team. Yeah.
So
It's pretty fascinating, really, when you look at the way that Newcastle are. It's almost like they've gone, right, that's the window closed. Everyone feels stable now. You know, you're all here till the end of the season. Play your role.
Yeah.
You know? Whereas before it was a bit like, could I be gone? Could someone else come in who's going to take my position? How many people are going to come in that might take my position? Chris Wood's the only one going, I'm sorted.
I think they're also I believe that they're safe now. One, due to accumulating 3 more points, but also kind of down to the fact that the ammunition that a Norwich, Burnley, Watford have now. The bar's not 37 points, and if the bar was 37 points, guys, I would be kind of with this idea of, okay, well, hang on, Newcastle's still got some tough games here. Chris Wood's not totally there. Trippier might be out for a bit. Things could happen.
Right.
But I think the bar's 34 points. I don't see Norwich. I honestly believe that
Do you think
those
that's
three
what keeps
teams.
you up, is what you're saying, sorry?
Yeah, it's almost like in other seasons you'd have to be better,
Right.
but this year I feel like Norwich. I feel like Norwich, Burnley, and Watford might not even get to 31, 32 points.
So you're saying
makes life a lot easier.
between now and the end of the season, Newcastle have to acquire 13 points in order to stay up.
Yeah, because
How many
I think
do Everton
previously
have to get then? Well,
say
12.
Yeah, I think previously you would have gone.
By the nature of what you've said. Sorry, my mistake. This is what people used to love.
The difference with Everton is their games. I'm wary of their games, and they could get sucked into something. And playing Leeds and the goals that have kind of come from set pieces, the energy of the crowd and stuff like that, all good stuff. But I'm always very wary of games against Leeds. I don't think it's a true barometer of how you're getting
Absolutely,
on.
because sometimes also you find that I feel like they almost go, we're not a good match for this team. This game, take it off almost. Or this game, if a goal goes in, next game. And it seems, I heard a great explanation of the way that Klopp was seen and the way that Pep was seen by Leeds. In terms of Klopp, we can analyse his patterns. We can see there is something there. So if we can break down those patterns, then there's something that we can latch onto and make, this is a winnable or a drawable situation. With Pep, it felt as if the way they speak about him is quite unknowable by Bielsa. And he almost feels like there's this mystical element around them. And I feel like Bielsa is aiming for that mystical element. And that's part of the problem, is a lot of people don't understand the extracurricular stuff you have to do in order to get to that point. And Leeds sometimes rely now, under Bielsa, on that, the allure of being Leeds, the allure of being Bielsa's side. And when that wears off, almost like a serum or something these guys take, not in a literal sense, but you get what I mean, then what happens? Yeah. Where do you take that team from there? The effect of
the
Bielsa.
serum's been enough up to. I think I said it.
Bugs Bunny special stuff.
The serum for that serum to keep them up this year is fucking crazy.
I don't think it'll be the serum as much as 3 other teams are worse than you, and their serum. There's no serum anymore at Burnley. There's no serum anymore at Norwich.
Right. Yeah.
There's
no low on serum.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Interesting.
No, genuinely.
I agree with you. I agree with you. There's not the goals aren't there. Super chat. Jonathan Watson, the big what?
What do you think will be Newcastle's most important player in the rest of the season? I mean, you can have a call first. It's your channel.
Trippier is the obvious answer. If Trippier were to get injured for the rest of the season, I would actually say something. Joe Willock's really impressed me.
The only
I
thing
think
we
he
go
offers
with,
a lot.
do you think the end product in terms of tangible...
St. Maximin, you got to say, really.
I was going to say St. Maximin,
Yeah.
but that's kind of easy. So if we take St. Maximin out of the picture, because that's sort of taken as a given, right? St. Maximin's going to be key to this.
Yeah, sure.
And then say, if we go, well, Lascelles, it's like, well, all right. And Dubravka, yeah, we get it, mate, all right? You understand what it means to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah.
What other player adds to that? Willock is dynamic enough in midfield. I worry, for instance, today, I actually thought that Aston Villa's midfield would do better against Newcastle.
Yeah, I thought they'd
didn't
pick them
understand what
apart.
happened there.
Yeah, it didn't really
I
happen.
didn't understand why they didn't.
No.
And I think Gerrard will be disappointed
Yeah.
with that because he'll have thought, there was a point where we could have done this or there was a point where we could have done that. I was watching that game almost more than the Liverpool game because I thought the Gerrard element of that and how Gerrard versus Howe is really fascinating.
Yeah, because I've given I did a video recently. I was expecting Gerrard to beat Leeds, to beat Newcastle. None of those have happened, and so I am a little bit disappointed because the squad there, it makes sense, or certainly the starting lineup and the signings that have come in. I know Bouvie in the kickoff, watch it, like he went mad about Coutinho, which I thought was a touch far fetched. But maybe you've come across a Newcastle side at St James's Park and they kind of got enough done. There is like huge fine margins. That doesn't make sense, but there are fine margins with all this. Like Trippier, that's a set piece. If they don't score that, it's a draw. Everyone's a little bit more confused and scared. Same with Everton.
If VAR isn't around, that's goal.
Yeah.
Or if he's marginally offside by a bit more,
So I want to talk about Liverpool.
I'm down for it.
Because the pressure for Liverpool...
I'm surprised you went there.
No, I think
go pressure first, and then I'll go where I want to go.
It's an awkward pressure because I think I've been I watched the game in midweek against Leicester. I thought you were fantastic.
It was so enjoyable.
You were so good. You were so good.
By the way, without Mane, but you know what makes Liverpool enjoyable this season is Fabinho and Thiago.
Yeah.
When you're I liken. I've not said this out loud before, but I was thinking about it the other day in the shower. Think of that. I liken watching a Premier League team that you enjoy watching to a trashy Channel 4 sitcom. Big Bang, Friends, Frasier. You're always waiting for them
Sex and the City.
Yeah. No, it's not comedy. It's sort of that's much more reality for me.
I enjoyed it.
It's not that I didn't enjoy it. It's just it wasn't comedy. It was commentary upon
derailing.
modern life of a gay man. So the point is with the comedy, you're waiting for the next pickup of the ball, the next run at the goal, and what you're waiting for is the laugh, right? And City are very good at their Jimmy Carr. Probably not a good one at this point. But they're Kevin Bridges.
You can say Jimmy Carr.
You can say Jimmy Carr historically, although not Jimmy Carr now. But historically, they're Kevin Bridges. Jimmy Carr more like because they go joke, chance, moment to get up off your seat. Liverpool have become much more on the front foot, and do you know why? Do you know how they've done that? The
midfield players.
So think of the field. The goal Liverpool are shooting towards is up here. The goal Liverpool are defending is down here. The midfield used to be more like that, a V. Klopp has shifted the midfield to be more like that, a V. Right?
Yeah.
And so you have much more on the front foot midfielders rather than on the back foot.
Yeah.
Works really well with Thiago. Fabinho's obviously the hinge. And then works really well with Harvey Elliott. Today, Naby Keita, Jordan Henderson. Jordan Henderson is a really key part of Liverpool because he's captain. He's actually a massive facilitator. It enables your Trent, enables Salah. Really key. And that's a really key side that takes care of itself almost. On the other side, we're really experimenting with that right now, where you've got your Tsimikas' and your, Mane's or your Robertson's or maybe even a Luis Diaz. That side's a bit more experimental right now. But it worked, it clicked in that game because Luis Diaz dropped a bit deeper, Andy Robertson on the overlap, and Thiago on the inside of that, and then roaming.
Less so today, though.
But it was much more older school Liverpool today, where he went, we've got two ways of playing now. So we're either going to be on the front foot, and I think I saw them versus Burnley at Anfield. It was the easiest game. I'm not kidding. Like, we walked away and went, training match, easy. It was, I think it was 4-0 in the end.
Right.
They dealt really well with the strikers. They put a lot of balls over the top, but a lot of balls that went, and I thought this was interesting, you could tell that Sean Dyche changed things. They went to the striker. This time they played over the top of the striker, the ball beyond the defence.
And got some joy.
Yeah. The interesting narrative will be in the press, and everyone's saying this on social, so I'm not being revelatory here. A lot of that is offside. So the flag doesn't come until they've had the chance. So the press go, oh, they had loads of chances. 4 out of the 5 were offside. And so people go, that was a chance. But in Liverpool's head, they go, well, that wasn't a chance. We played them offside.
Right.
So there's a big difference between the way that we see it and the way the players see it. And then how we see it in midfield, because Fabinho is so deep, Henderson doesn't drop in the same way. And essentially, these players are learning how to play on the front foot, which is where Liverpool would have been a season ago if Virgil hadn't got injured, if blah, blah, blah hasn't got injured. You could tell what Klopp was trying to do, much higher line, player on the front foot. We're going to try and control the game and strangle you.
I'm going to say there's an element of good spin on that.
Of what?
The bottom line is, I guess you won 4-0 earlier in the season. Now you're sort of sneaking a 1-0 victory.
But that's because Liverpool. You put it this way: I can either go Burnley or Liverpool angle. Burnley is we learn from that game, we'll change how we play. Liverpool is we learn from that game, we have to change how we play. Burnley are going to sit deeper, play longer balls. How do we work that out? Cool, they'll be offside loads of times, but then 90% of those chances will be not real chances because we've played you offside.
And ultimately, who gives a shit? You won the game. That's that's life now for Liverpool. That is life. It doesn't matter how you play, really.
Fine margins.
You need to hang in. You need to hang in there and get close, and hope that Man City sort of have a moment of frustration and crumbles a bit heavy. But because I think we're looking at Man City and it just looks so ridiculously fluent.
But if you get it to 6 points, but bear in mind, there's also
you need to get to that game against Man City.
And go, let's make it 3.
Be tight enough.
Yeah, and go, let's make it 3. And then when it's 3 points and they start looking, which they probably won't, they're looking in our eyes, but they're not in theirs. Then we go, well, at least we're still in the run here.
Yeah.
And
fine.
at that point, Klopp goes back to that squad and goes, we were within 3 points of Man City this season. We kept up with them for a very long time. Do it again.
Because, I think that's it. It's like, when it's the reason, watching Man City in the last few years, why they not struggle but don't win the Champions League is because there's that possibility of there's a finite amount of time. There's you've got 2 legs, and if you hang in there, if you get a goal and you hang in there, that's enough, and that changes the mindset of a lot of teams. Whereas in the league, when you're in November, December, January, February,
grind.
I think there's a lot of easy points for Man City because the opposition go, this is futile.
They also go, not this one.
Yeah,
and the league. The league season, the league end feels far enough away that you go, give this game up and we'll go on to Brentford or we'll go on to Villa or we'll go on to whoever and we'll get a point there.
Yeah.
And so
all
against
that
Norwich is,
So for all that matters for Liverpool is get to a point where it becomes a cup competition.
Pretty much.
To a point where it's like a 5-game shootout.
Right, exactly.
And you've got yourself a chance of winning something that really, in terms of overall dominance, because of, I guess, kind of the way that you play and the depth of your squad maybe, or just ultimately the control that Man City play with is not generally available to you guys. Because that's right. What blows my mind with Man City is it's just utter dominance.
But it's dominance in a way where I think it's stylistic choices. So Klopp is also making choices to play that high line that make you think, and part of me makes me wonder how much of that is Klopp going, if they think they're in with this, they're going to keep attacking and there'll be more spots at the back. If you think you're within whatever during a game and you can go, we had a chance there, it's playing the odds. But I imagine there's some odds that someone's run and gone, look, if you play these odds here, then you do this. And that's why Virgil van Dijk and whoever plays alongside him, Konate or Matip or Gomez or whoever
Matip's been amazing.
Matip's been great, but also Konate is... I mean, what a replacement. That's a £40 million central defender in replacement.
Yeah, he's just sitting there.
Just sitting there. And he is a really great guy to have in the squad. Seems really happy when he's not in it and they win, blah, blah, blah. To go along with that, Klopp's then gone, cool, we'll play those odds. And you know what? If you guys keep attacking us and you feel confident, great. We're more confident, 10 times more confident. Because we've got, in 3 of those positions, you've got Mane, Diaz, one side. So Mane, Diaz, one side. In the middle, you either go Jota, Firmino, and then the best player in the world.
Yeah, solid.
Or one of the best players in the world. And then behind that, you go, cool, Thiago can feed them, Fabinho can feed them, Virgil van Dijk on corners, Matip on corners, Fabinho on corners today. Fabinho scored off plenty of corners, scored penalties.
Scored a lot of goals this year, yeah.
So, and then not only that, but we're not spamming crosses. I think Liverpool are a lot more careful with their crosses this season. They're a lot more they know when Jota's in the box and they know when Firmino's in the box.
And Trent's playing a lot more central these days.
Correct,
so it's from scarier positions a lot of the time.
From positions which you're going to be able to make you just glance it as opposed to having to work the keeper.
Yeah. I had a super chat there from Adam. Just want to say thank you, Adam, for the super chat.
Thanks, Adam.
Last team I want to talk about...
$2.50 each.
Yeah, result. I'll pay later. Yeah. Spurs losing to Wolves. I guess two questions here is like, where are Spurs at? And I guess the other one is like, how good are Wolves? Like, can Wolves... You've got... West Ham have not won today. Spurs have lost. Man United have drawn. Arsenal, of course, play tomorrow.
They're in the mix.
Like, yeah, Wolves are kind of...
But realistically,
knocking about.
It seems a few steps ahead of where they want to be, right?
Well, I think it would be... they'd be going past expectations. But, like, you know...
Do they spend more if they get in the Champions League?
I guess with the agent angle that they've got there, that like if they were able to sort of sneak into that world...
Are you saying Ronaldo to Wolves?
I'm saying it's an option.
Yeah.
And I'm saying they're going to change the title.
Right, yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
But the point... I get what you're saying. Where do you want to go first, Wolves or Spurs?
Well, I guess the broader point is that... What I would say is like, Wolves with the... Adam said something that really stuck in my head earlier today. It was like...
Don't let that happen.
Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, it's very mean.
The element of pressure. Like... The spotlight on Spurs, the spotlight on Arsenal, the spotlight on Man United in particular. West Ham don't have that. Wolves don't have that.
I think West Ham...
And I think that's such an advantage, though, for those guys, right?
I think West Ham are developing that, though. And I think West Ham do feel... I think to some extent David Moyes wants them to feel that they are valid within that space.
Yeah.
And so there is an element of the spotlight's on us. I think
But do you think that crumbles to a point, the Spurs and the Man United?
Yeah.
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it massively does. I look at that Man United team and I think, you know when you've got that like glazed look over your eyes and you're thinking, shit, what do I do?
Yep.
I see that in McTominay. I see that in a lot of the players in that team.
I
think the same goes with Spurs where like, okay, they're all okay players, but that pressure, that expectation...
Where do you think that comes from, though, in terms of a live game? Because... I remember listening to something about the NBA and how people used to talk about how it was a national game. So it would be coast to coast, Celtics versus whoever, or Lakers versus whoever. That's from one coast to the other, right? Mm. And people go, this game is being televised nationally.
Yeah.
And then they go, wow, the pressure's on you.
Yeah.
But globally, these players now know that the match is going somewhere at some point, sometime. Maybe you're more conscious if it's in the UK. You might feel a bit more proximity to it, but realistically, probably not. Mm. Especially as a player. You're not really looking at TV timings, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe you are. Maybe you're looking at now TV and going, fucking hell, that's my face in there. Can I say that?
I think it's broader. I think it's broader than that. I think it's that there is no peace as a Man United player.
Good.
There's no peace.
There's no peace as a City player. Oh, maybe
but there's peace as a Wolves player. And there's peace as a West Ham player where you go home and people don't care about Craig Dawson.
Right.
And there is something in that.
Title.
There is something in that, I think. And that's why I kind of like... I wonder with Arsenal a little bit. They've kind of got this underdog status. And my gut goes, when I look at it all, I kind of think they're together. And I feel like Arsenal will do it. But I agree think there's something there for West Ham as well.
So I get that in that I think with Arsenal, I also think they're worthy of note. Whereas at Wolves, you might not think you're as worthy of note. Or at West Ham, you might think, well, we're aiming for it. And, you know, this is a nice moment in the sun. But at Arsenal, there is that element of the history.
We should be over there.
Yeah, right. We should be with them rather than we should be with them. We're not with these guys. We're with those guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, that you are worthy of that. Spurs are kind of that transitional team where you're a bit like, well, I'm cool a little bit, but I'm not quite there yet.
And this guy's our manager, so surely we should be over there.
Correct, yeah. And also the manager's sort of going, we should be over there, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Because he's always, literally, his post-match interview today was something like, well, I'm not used to competing for top four. I'm used to being higher than that. Like, I love Conte for that reason, but some people read that and go, oh, Conte thinks he's better than this. Some people read that and go, oh, Conte's trying to tell the players, aim higher than this, be better than that.
But you know what? If David Moyes said that, or Bruno Lage said that, there's not the hype, there's not the attention. There's a reason why I'm a QPR fan talking about Liverpool and Man United and these teams.
But neither of them
focus is on those
But
guys.
neither of them, and to quote Bouvy, have won the league with Inter Milan.
Yeah, embarrassing, no gas.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But the league-winning element of Juve, Inter, wherever else he's been, I think he won in his first season with Bologna or something like that. Maybe Lecce as well. So he won with all those guys. he did something successful in the first season with all those guys, it must annoy him a bit. And it also, I think he harnesses that element of, I'm here now.
He's got leverage, hasn't he?
Of course he has.
Huge leverage.
I played with Edgar Davids and Zinedine Zidane in the midfield. I played with,
even as a manager, it's like, I've done this.
Right.
Like,
I've managed
you're not good
Buffon.
enough.
I've managed all these different guys. I've managed some of the legends of the game. Who are you? And I think he can come in here. And also, bear in mind, the Italian mentality is, you didn't do well there, never mind, you learned something, next club. So he's almost like going, look, if it doesn't work out for me, I'm moving on somewhere else. But if it doesn't work out for you, you're stuck here.
And that's why I come back to Arsenal, because I look at Arsenal and I go, okay, Arteta's had a bumpy road, right? But that is a young, hungry, actually quite small squad as well.
Extremely small. That's their problem.
Yes, but it could be a strength as well, because
Injuries
Martinelli, Lacazette, if they get injuries.
But it's not only injuries. So sorry, I say injuries. I just mean wear and tear more than injuries. So I mean, players are going to get tired.
But I don't think the wear and tear occurs because they're not in the League Cup, they're not in the FA Cup, they're not in anything else.
I get that. They still
I think that really helps them.
I understand that. They still have to play with certain intensity. The league season is still hard enough, shall we say. And I think a lot of people think of Champions League being a bit of extra, this being a bit of extra. I actually think the Premier League season is hard enough as it is.
Yeah, fair enough. A couple of good super chats here.
Super chat.
Adam, do you think Liverpool will win all the remaining games?
Yes.
That's what I feel, personally.
All 9 of them.
Who do you support, Adam?
I think he's bought City, if I'm honest.
I
think the main aspect to also remember is, I think with...
You think you'll win every game to the end of the season?
No, but I don't think City will either.
It's like a stretch.
Listen, we're here to make it interesting for you. You guys should be grateful to us that this is even still interesting.
Oh yeah. People, that's it. That's a great point. People will get people get funny about Liverpool and Liverpool fans or whatever, right? We want a title race. Yeah. Chelsea aren't. It's not available.
But
so
at what
Liverpool
cost? Some people will say. At what cost?
Because Liverpool fans will be more unbearable.
Also, yeah, because when I
know that's not how you want me to put it, but yeah.
No, well, we are unbearable, but that's part of the point. But that's also part of it is you were unbearable to us. Wait, it's our time in the sun now. Not you, but like anyone who was outside Liverpool feels like they're unbearable to us.
Yeah.
People are going, you didn't win the league. Well, we did. You didn't. Your Klopp's not won anything. Champions League. Thank you. So beyond that, but beyond
4.5 hours if you want it.
Obviously, we're playing a very fun game. The point is that Liverpool are at the moment box office. We're a club that people want to watch. People want to see play. We're exciting. We are not City to the point where you go, the game's boring. We are open enough that the other team have got a chance. People want to watch exciting Premier League football.
Yeah, you want competition.
Liverpool are producing that right now.
Yeah.
And I get it. It doesn't mean take away from what City's doing. There's great plaudits over there for that.
But it's boring.
We're not going for best actor. We're going for best screenplay. All right? Like, we're not going for best director. We're going for best soundtrack. So these things all add up to a great movie. Yeah. The point that people keep missing.
A great movie, don't we?
Right. Yeah. And that's the point. It's the point that people keep missing is they keep going, yeah, but Klopp will be judged. And no one, by the way, the thing that I will not mention to my son when I talk about Klopp is going to be the Champions League or the Premier League. It will be the fact that I went, that man made me love football for however many years he was there. And the whole time I just went, wow, I can't wait for the next game. Whereas when I had other managers, I went, I can't bear this next game. And that's how you judge a manager. It's great that he won things. That was an outcome of me looking forward to the next game.
But he made you sing.
Yeah. And he also made me sort of go, if I'm honest, he gave my dad and I great memories, and that's really...
last thing I want to, before we go, last thing I want to pick up is someone made a comment about like Man City boring. Jeez, you're not listening to what I'm saying.
No one's saying that.
My point is,
he's not saying that. He's putting words in his mouth.
There's a compliment in here. They're so good that it's hurting the competition because teams are beaten before they step out. I think previously I sort of fought against that, and it's down to how good they are because of their control of the ball. But we want to see competition. We want to see 22 players just bloody going at it. And young men just going at it.
Young men just going. Wait, I'm looking for what they've got. Yes. So there's a couple of exciting games in here for Man City, right? Towards the end of the season. Imagine it's close, right? So when do Liverpool play City? Liverpool play City on the 9th of April. Within proximity of that, within a month and a half, 6 weeks, the final day of the season, Liverpool and City are within 3 points of each other. Within 2 points. Within however many points of each other. What's the game? Final day of the season.
For both teams? I don't know.
Well, for City, it's Aston Villa. Who's the manager?
Stevie G.
Yeah. Within that, you've got West Ham gunning for top 4. Game before that. Within that, you've got Newcastle United, desperate to stay up, wanting to put points on the board, wanting to show that they can compete with the big boys. Before that, you've got Leeds United. Bielsa's desperate. What could quite happen? He's always respected Pep, but can he stab him in the back now? Yes.
Narrative.
The game before that, Watford, strike that one. Wolves. My God.
They're going for top 4 at this stage.
Wolves. City vulnerable after the Liverpool loss. Could they lose against the old foes, Wolves, the people who beat them twice in one season? Do you not remember that? I remember that.
Ruben Neves keen for a move to City.
Exactly.
Wants to prove a point.
Burnley, spurned by the Premier League, wanting to land one last punch on one of their big foes. Just before the Liverpool game, you might say, because it is. Manchester City, then before that, play Brighton and Hove Albion, to give them their full name.
Well coached.
Those guys will go, we could land a punch here, guys, and then we'll let Burnley do the same.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace, etc., etc. The Manchester Derby. Ralph Rangnick says to himself, if I want this job, and I want this job, yeah? I want the job, right? He says, we gehen in die Disco. 2-0.
He said, warum ist dein Bananenkrumm? Why is my banana
Mein
bent?
Mutter und mich besteht eine gute Beingebeizigung. You know? So we're doing stereotypical impressions of him, but at the same
what
time,
we're trying to say is a very valid point.
We're trying to say, yeah, exactly. And the valid point is that he will want the win.
Can Arsenal be challengers? If
Peterborough United in the 5th round of the FA Cup.
Can Arsenal be challengers if they keep developing? Yes.
Yes.
Is the answer there.
Yes.
They continue to develop in a positive trend. They will challenge at some stage.
So if Arsenal continue on
Thank you for the
this,
super chat.
exactly.
Easiest money I've ever earned.
Yeah, exactly. Will they be good? They could be good.
If they continue developing, they certainly will.
If they get better, yes. Can Peterborough compete for the Premier League in time?
I think the important thing to say is that we both had 3 drinks. And
you're-
I've enjoyed it.
You've had a good time.
We've had a good
That's
time.
all that matters.
Going to say goodbye. We've got a stream, Super Bowl.
We're going to go have dinner, a couple of hours, and then we start. It's still a couple of hours, and then we start. So.
If you're new to the channel, subscribe, hit the like button, all those good things. Champions League predictions
Sure.
coming up tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, let me finish.
Oh, okay.
We're not on your channel now.
It's not on my. It's not on my.
It's on your terms.
It's not in my nature
Yeah.
to let you finish.
I know.
Yeah.
So come and check that out tomorrow. Enjoy your evening. Goodbye.
Lovely.
Yeah, well done.
Oh.